This is War Room Moments, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and most relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. War Room Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board. Here's your host, Jason Miller.
Hey, thank you for attending today's War Room Moments. My name is Jason Miller. I'm your podcast host. And today I have somebody really special on today. She's special to me. She's helped us in our events. She's done all kinds of stuff for us in the past. And she's just full of awesomeness. And I'm glad that I could have her here today. Kelli Maxwell, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
That was quite the intro.
Can you live up to that?
I'm going to use that stuff full of awesomeness.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm only 5'1", so there's not very much room, but
right. Well, hey, Kelli. Yeah, thanks for being here for starters. And if you could tell people about yourself, about your company, and what your superpowers are, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I am Kelli Maxwell. I founded Ember Marketing Group almost 4 years ago here in Billings, Montana. And my background was I started a princess party company. So in my mid-20s, I was the marketing director of a financial firm. Super boring, wasn't fulfilled, very creative. Every fun idea I brought my boss, he shut it down. No, we don't talk about life insurance like that. And so I was unfulfilled and looking for a way to be my own boss. And so as a joke, I started a princess party company because my friend said I couldn't do it. So I did. And we actually dressed up like Disney princesses and performed at birthday parties and events and parades. And we did community stuff. And it was so much fun. And I just really found my talent for creating that authentic social media content. And so I started picking up all these freelance clients on the side of, oh my gosh, you're killing it on Facebook. Can you help me with my business? So then I made the decision to quit my full-time job and start my own marketing agency. So that's what we do. We specialize in authentic brand amplification. That's a new term we made up.
Nice.
So,
brand
amplification.
Amplification. Boy, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well,
yeah.
You know, what is like, what's something that you see today that is a point of discussion that we need to have a conversation about, that we need to be talking about, and people need to hear about it from what you see in your agency today, and then how we tie all that in to where we are today?
So the main thing that I hear, I love working with small startups. They're my favorite because they know nothing about marketing, right? They have no idea what they're doing. They're not confident enough to put themselves out there online. So I just love working with those little baby startups. And all of them say the same thing. They've been duped by other marketing agencies who overcharged and underdelivered and created just garbage generic content for them. And I think really we're seeing a huge shift in social media of like all that automated stuff did work when, Facebook and LinkedIn first came out, and you could set up automated sales pitches into people's inboxes. But now people are so burnt out by that kind of marketing, almost like MLM style marketing. They want to see real people online because we've been so inundated with filters and fakeness and all that stuff. Authenticity now, I always say authenticity is queen. If you're just being yourself online with no filters, that's what the people want. They want to get to know you, who you are, not some automated message. So that's most of my conversations revolve around how do I create authentic content? Because all I see is this canned, generic, I call it cookie cutter marketing. So how do we get away from that? And that's what I specialize in, is be yourself. People will love you for being yourself.
Yeah. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the world of the Instagram family, right?
Yeah.
Just the well curated photos and all this
right?
Stuff. And
girls posing in their bikinis with their butts. And I'm like, nobody stands like that on the beach. Nobody ever will stand like that on the beach. Just be yourself. Stand how you always stand and take a photo.
Yeah.
People want that.
Yeah. And I can speak directly from that because, as far as like automation and all that stuff goes with like LinkedIn, because I use LinkedIn really heavily. And, I still get every once in a while, even though I have literally typed that stuff in, right? I will still get, well, I don't appreciate the robot response. I'm like, excuse me? That's not really a robot. I mean, I am over here typing, right?
Yeah.
But I think people are so freaking used to it. They just assume that's what they're getting, right? And that's too bad because, and how do you change that? I guess that's the next kind of question here is, what are your thoughts on how do we change the marketplace back to, that soft touch, that white glove, that, personal, intimate relationship thing? How do we do that? That's your superpower without giving away all your secret sauce, right?
Well, that is my secret sauce is I'm a firm believer that I'm not for everybody. I don't believe everybody's for everybody, right? No business owner can say, oh, everybody is my client. I want to help everybody. Like, it's reality that some people you're just not going to click with. They don't want to work with you. But if you're being yourself, you're going to attract the people that do want to work with you. So the best strategy, in my opinion, is to position yourself in a way that you never have to sell. People come to you because you are so authentic and so good at what you do. They see you online and then you're the exact same person when they meet you in real life, and they just have to work with you now because they love what you do. They love your content. They love what you're about. That's how I've positioned myself for my agency. I mean, I never sell because people consistently weekly come to me. How do I hire you? I have to hire you. You're clearly the content queen. I've been watching you for 2 years now, or whatever it is. And that's what I also do for my clients is I spend a ton of time with them, filming them, getting to know them, bringing their uniqueness through in their branding. So then, I mean, people just bust down their doors to work with them because what they see is what they get.
Right.
There is nothing fake or phony about the content we put out. He's hilarious. I want to work with him, right? I want him to install my countertops because he's going to make me laugh while he does it. It's that simple, really. Just be yourself consistently. That's the strategy.
Right. Well, and you're responsible for the SAB brand. You've done all the SAB branding, and that resonates with people because it is pretty, down to earth and real and raw, and that's the way it should be. And I guess I heard somebody say one day, they said, be so good, people just naturally come to you. Be so good at what you do, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
And they will just come to you.
There's something to be said about your integrity and your reputation for sure. Like that goes hand in hand with being authentically yourself, because especially in a small town like Billings, it's really easy to dupe people for a while until you have a reputation for duping people. Well, if you're so good at what you do, no one's talking bad about you. They're like, she helped me so much, or call Kelly. I won't work with her, but you probably should, I get that a lot. I get more referrals from people I'll never even work with than anything else, just because they know of me and they know I do good work and I'm loyal to my clients and I always go above and beyond. That's kind of my thing. So.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, what do you see as social media trends that are happening right now?
It's TikTok. Everything TikTok style videos. I can't tell you how many hours I spent last fall, like retraining myself how to film and edit for TikTok style Instagram reels. It seems like our attention spans just keep getting shorter and shorter. And if you're not capturing them in a super awesome 7-second video, nobody cares, right? Cool transitions, trending music. That's what the people are consuming these days.
Right. And it's like we've entered like a whole new era of, number one, instant gratification, and number two, nobody has patience anymore, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, gotta have it now, right? And I mean, I can speak directly to that just because I have 2 young children. One's 3 and the other one's 5. And they're so used to now, right? And it was absolutely hilarious. And I became a product of it myself, where the TV remote, right, you push a button, speak into it, and it takes you where you want to go. Well, guess what? The speaker broke on our remote, and he's like talking and he's like getting all frustrated with it and yelling at it, and it's not working. And now he's got to go menu, and then the old fashioned left, 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 A, right, 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 C, right, and do it that old way. And you can just see his blood boiling, right? Because he's like, my God, this is, archaic, right? Why do I have to do this? Get a new remote, Dad. Right? So, but I even found myself frustrated the other day. I was upstairs and I wanted to watch a show, and I don't know what channel it is. So you just go, bloop, bloop, talk it in. I was like, what's going on? Why is this not working? Right? That's like, whatever. Turn the TV off. It's too much work. So we're living in that world. Do you think that's going to get worse, or are we going to regress the other way at some point?
I think the people that know how to play the game, for lack of better analogy, like, we know it takes patience, right? There is no, I mean, you can see all day long the bro marketing on Instagram and the 20-year-old kids in front of Lamborghinis they rented for the day talking about how they make 7 million on YouTube in 30 days. It's all bullcrap. It's all fake news. Nothing happens like that. Just like, my best analogy is, nobody walks into a gym and deadlifts 300 pounds the first try, right? You got to build up to that. It takes months and time. Same thing's true for your business and your marketing. Nobody instantly just gets rich quick overnight. It takes work and time and consistency. And that's like anything worth having. You want a shredded body? You don't get that overnight. You want a big, 7-figure business? That takes consistency and patience and work.
Right.
It's the, and I think the people that are doing it well, like, Sab, you guys all know that. It takes showing up every day, getting it done every day to make it go. 8,000 words a day in blogs. I mean, that's a lot of work, but it'll pay off. You got to do it consistently.
Yeah, for sure. It is consistent. And it's, I think with all the social media platforms, they're somewhat lacking right now with certain things they are, and I think with certain things they're not, right? So it's finding that balance for you and what works for you, and sticking with something, right? Not just going, well, this didn't work. I did this for 2 weeks and it's not working. So, well, there's not, in my opinion, there's nothing worth doing unless you're going to put 90 straight days into it.
Yeah. Oh, at least I tell people 3 to 6 months. Don't even waste your time trying unless you're going to give it 3 to 6 months. Right.
Yep. And, I also think in the marketing world itself, an area that it kind of got lost for years, and that's the PR angle, right? And, it's a big part of our strategy is the PR angle. But PR firms are really good at doing what? They do the PR and they're on to the next thing. Well, the relationship there really could be so much stronger if we would say, look, we have PR on this side and we have marketing on this side. Why don't we put those two things together and make them just super juiced, right? And I mean, that's a strategy we've been using in SAB, is doing that PR coupled with marketing. And thus far, it's been fantastic. So, and I think, social media is great it has its limitations now because of iOS, and Google's now following suit and all this stuff. If you want to let your eyes roll back in your head, talk to Joel for 15 minutes. And he'll go off on it for about 30 as your eyes completely disappear into the back of your head.
It is a mess.
It is. It's terrible.
Frustrating.
So, but
it's like a moral struggle for me, because on one hand, as a consumer, I'm like, good job, Apple. We needed that. But then as a marketer, I'm like, you guys are the worst. Why would you do this to us? You
Right.
know?
Yeah, for sure. But all this stuff, it seems like about every 10 years, it's the next thing.
Mhm.
Right. And then we just get used to a system of doing things. And then it's like the next hand slap, whack.
Mhm.
Right. And because we've had many Google slaps over the last 15 years, right?
Mhm.
Different algorithm changes and all this stuff that
Mhm.
affected marketing. Hell, you used to be able to go to Fiverr and buy $20 worth of backlinks and make, 50 grand off of that
Yeah.
over time, right? But
Yeah.
none of that stuff works anymore. That hasn't worked for a decade, but it's amazing how things change, right?
Mhm.
For sure.
It is like if you're marketing anything, you got to be on your toes and shift with the times, because I call it getting zucked. I get zucked all the time. I just got my ad account shut down last week again because I used TikTok to run an ad. They didn't like that.
Oh, wow.
But
That's funny.
yeah.
Well, what's a golden nugget you could drop in marketing that you think people could take and actually do something with?
Obviously, authenticity is queen is kind of my tagline. So
right.
Always just be yourself. A lot of people I talk to lack the confidence to be themselves online, but then I think of it like this: isn't it right for you to give people the opportunity to choose the product or business they want to work with? And you can only do that by showing them who you are and what you offer. As you know, there's a lot of people doing bad business out there, a lot of consultants overcharging and providing nothing. Give people the opportunity to choose, educate them on what you do differently, let them make the decision. That's really what marketing comes down to. You're letting people know who you are and what you're up to, what you offer. Doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
Right. So just be who you are. Be
Just
authentic.
be yourself. People are awesome. Like, I just love working. That's the other thing. I love people more than profits. So, people are so cool to work with, and they're all awesome and unique. And we want to see that. We're tired of filters and Kardashians. We want to see real people doing real stuff.
That's a good piece of advice, I think. No doubt. Well, so part of this series is to, really help the younger business owner, right? And a big question I'm asking all of our guests is, what's a business struggle that you've went through? And, how did you overcome that? And by sharing this on this podcast, it may affect a new young business owner in what they do. That's not an arrow they have to take. So what's something that you've had to struggle with and that you've overcame?
My biggest struggle was learning how to delegate to my team and my own time management, because I really got caught in that loop when I started of, by the time I explain it to you, I'll just do it myself. Well, you can't scale with that strategy, right? So it was really just learning how to trust my team to do what they're best at, give them the tools and instructions. They're going to do it differently, and that's okay, as long as it gets done, right? And then it's off my plate, because single mom, not had enough time for my girls at night. They're always like, you're always working, you're always on your phone. Then I had all that guilt. So I really had to learn how to separate, my being self-employed and delegating the things I don't have to do or don't have time to do. Only working and doing what I'm best at, passing everything else off my plate, and then also making sure I have that family time. As you know, with young kids, you got to make time for dinner time together and, fun stuff and weekends. So delegate and manage your time well, because you'll get burnt out real fast if you don't.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle too.
It is.
It really is. And you don't even realize it sometimes. And by the time you do, oftentimes it's too late. It's already caused damage, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids and you run a business, and we all fall into it at some point, right? So last night I was not expecting to be up at 11 o'clock at night boarding out a major strategy push for another company, right? But that's just how it happened. And it happens that way sometimes, but you just try not to make that the norm. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's where, you start looking your kids in the eyes and you can tell it's instant almost. They're like, oh, you just work. They don't understand. And they just want you. Right. So it's like, that's the hard struggle for business owners sometimes. And, that's why it is important to just outsource as much things as you can. Right.
Yep.
And it's not that maybe you can't even afford it all, but outsource what you can and outsource the things that suck that time, that you can bring that time back in, and then don't replace it with something else.
Yeah.
That's the key, right?
Unless it's family time, right?
Right. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. I always
For
like
sure.
to think at the end of the day, if everything I have was stripped away and my business crashed and one day I lost everything, what would I have? I'd still have my family and my kids. So better make sure they're all taken care of and fulfilled first. Because that's, I don't want them to remember mom always buried in her phone doing social media.
Right. We can make money.
Yeah.
We can survive. Right. But what you can't do is repair damage over time. Right. So that's really important I always say, just be in the moment for whatever you're doing. Right? Yeah. At that time, you're with a client, be in that moment and just be in that moment. Don't be typing stuff over here and doing stuff over here and not paying attention. It's the same with your family life. When you can, just be in that focus time, right? And even if it's 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes of focus time, and they'll suck all that in, that energy in for the day. And that makes all the difference. Like every single morning before I come to the office, I sit with both my kids and we eat a bowl of cereal together. That's our thing.
That's cute.
We all sit there in our pajamas and we watch, whatever episode of cartoons they're watching, 30-minute episode, and we have a bowl of cereal. So
perfect.
But I'm in the moment then. It's not, I don't have my phone doing work and that's all gone. I put all that stuff away. So, well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. And it's really good advice for sure. Well, so I like to kind of close things with this question. And that is, if you could have picked somebody to be here, dead, alive, mentor, friend, family, whatever, somebody that you could ask a burning question, who would that be and what question would you ask?
Seth Godin. I would have him here because he's my favorite marketer. I'm just obsessed with his work. And I would ask him his best piece of marketing advice for me, because I read his book, This Is Marketing, when I first started, like way back when. And I'm like, oh my God, how does he fundamentally just believe what I believe about marketing? Like he's the king of authenticity, authentic content. And he did it back before anyone else did. And he's amazing. And I love everything he does. And so I would ask him his marketing advice for me, for my growth. That doesn't really answer your question.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Is we all have certain people, and most of the time it's not who you would think. It's not Warren Buffett. It's not,
right.
I mean, those aren't probably going to move your needle. It'd be great to sit and have a conversation with Warren Buffett, right? But that's probably levels of talk so far above any of us that we wouldn't be able to implement any of it anyway. Right. So it's who affects us today, right? Really, that's the way I look at it. And that's who's right for you, who you follow, whose content you consume, those are the people that are directly affecting you every single day. So good stuff.
Yep.
Well, how do people get a hold of you, Kelli? How do people get a hold of you to work with you and get in touch with you?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Kelli Maxwell on LinkedIn. You'll definitely know it's me by the giant fire flame picture I have on my profile. Ember Marketing Group on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Now we're on TikTok. Got to keep up with the trends. So, I mean, pretty much every platform except for Twitter. Twitter never caught on in Montana. So, we forget it exists. But yeah, you pretty much find me Ember Marketing Group anywhere. Google me. I'm all over Google.
Awesome. Great. Well, hey, Kelli Maxwell, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time to be here. I know we're all busy, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Awesome.
Stuffed with awesomeness.
Stuffed with awesomeness.
Put that in the show notes. This episode is stuffed with awesomeness.
I don't know where I come up with this stuff.
It's amazing.
It's just whatever comes out. Being in the moment, right?
I love it.
It's the way to be, for sure. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in to War Room Moments today. And remember, dream it, believe it, and achieve it. It's your podcast host, Jason Miller, signing off.
Thanks for listening to War Room Moments with your host, Jason Miller. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.